Man who gets me honey tea, his name is Johan.
And he is awesome.
So anytime you see me doing this, the crowd needs to 3, 2, 1. Very good, Johan. That's right. They'll help out. And it looks like both players are in the game. Good luck. Have fun. And here we are going, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently ClouD versus White Raw. Are you excited? And of course, anyone who's watching on the stream, feel free to do a little star, clap, star.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can see you right now. I can see you there in the chat window. It is always off to my left no matter where you see me.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
One up finger.
All
right.
There it is, flying on up. It looks like it will be GSL Daybreak, going to be that open map, and as you were saying, ClouD, I think, is going to be pretty happy that that macro-focused style can be useful.
Yeah, totally. And I just can't wait to see what ClouD brings here. ClouD and White Raw are guys that play against each other a lot. The European scene revolves a lot around online cups, and so the top players are constantly running into each other. Even if they're not sitting down to practice with one another, they're going to play each other 4 or 5 times in a week between, Go for SC2 and Zotac and Playheim Dailies and all the online cups where they can run into each other. So they're going to be very familiar with each other's play styles, and we're going to see a lot of mind games, I would imagine.
In the bottom left corner, we have the Italian Terran player.
Correct.
It is ClouD.
And his opponent up in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Everybody loves the barbecue toss. It is White Raw.
One of my favorite stories of White Raw is when it turned out that we were actually on the same flight back to LA. And as we're about to get on the plane, we were in, I believe it was in New York. He leans to me and he goes, "Hey, Day, how many bomb you have?" And I'm like, "You can't make that joke in an American airport. Why you can't?" Alexa, do not. They're going to deport you immediately. And he's like, "No, you can't make jokes. Fine, don't worry." It was the most level 2 funny thing ever, where it's not funny at the time, but like 3 weeks later, it was really funny.
I have a White Raw story that I'll share when we get to see Sheth versus Todd later on today.
Fantastic.
I'm just sit on it until then, so you can look forward to it.
In the meantime, it looks like ClouD is indeed not getting his gas geysers. A big sign that he does want to do that early expand. White Raw is going to be spotting that, and I guarantee you he is going to be wanting to do a lot of expanding.
Oh yeah. White Raw does have the 1 gas, he does have the 1 gateway, but he's already sending out, no, never mind, that's just for a pylon. I thought he was already sending that guy down to the low ground as if he were to expand now. ClouD, as we can see, has pulled up a lot of money, but where did it go? Oh, he made his orbital. He is saving up quite a bit of money. He will be throwing down the orbital, or I guess the command center, the natural, shortly.
I mean, ClouD is not even trying to hide the fact that he's early expanding. I mean, he sees the probe right here. Oh!
That's so annoying.
Oh my God, White Raw, no doubt doing some giant Ukrainian banana grin. Oh yeah, those can lift off, can't they?
Slightly less annoying if you play Terran.
He's not Zerg. Well, White Raw is going to expand with that Nexus on 20. Ordinarily, where's the Cybernetics core?
He put it down before Cybercore. He cut that Cybercore to get the faster Nexus. So White Raw saying, all right, you're going to expand fast. I'm going to expand fast.
I would really love if ClouD responded by building the engineering bay there, because White Raw can't quite build the off-center Nexus.
That would have been hilarious, but was not meant to be. White Raw and ClouD, they both know exactly what's happening in their opponents' bases, so we're going to see these guys just sitting back, playing a little bit defensively as they gear up for the macro. Quick double gas going down from ClouD. That's quite a fast double gas day.
Yeah, that actually surprises me. He only has 2 barracks. This would really signal 1 of 2 possible things. He's going to either be getting a very fast factory and incorporating some tanks into the mixture. We've seen MVP favor that style sometimes on a map like Tal'Darim Altar. Or he's going to be going for that very Select-esque, super fast starport. He can begin doing the drop harassment play right off the bat. White Raw, as we can see, devoting all of his chrono boost to those probes. 1 Zealot moving out towards the center of the map. White Raw doing a little bit of aggression, is even spending chrono boost on the Stalkers. It looks like not quite yet, but the gateway count is beginning to increase slowly.
Yeah, ClouD is only mining gas with 2 SCVs in each, so what does that tell you? I'm trying to put it together, but I'm not quite seeing it.
Well, I think this is a very common thing to happen when you build the refinery and you shift Q back to the mineral field on accident, and when it's done, you're like, well, I'll just put in 2. It does not make sense to me to get 2 geysers and put 2 in them. I mean, we can give him the benefit of the doubt and say perhaps he knows some very sophisticated timing that we do not, but it seems somewhat inefficient. The better solution would be to get a single geyser earlier and to toss 3 into it.
Yeah, I sort of feel the same way. So, be it a mistake. Yeah, now he's adding the extra SCVs, so I think you were spot on with that. Looks like he just shift-clicked away. So, White Raw is going to poke forward with a Stalker and a Zealot, but there's a bunker there waiting for him, so he's not going to be able to see too much before turning around and packing it up.
As we can see, White Raw forgets warp gates. Oh, he doesn't have warp gate research. He hasn't even started it. Now, if you're watching on the stream, you can't tell because all the sponsor logos cover it up, but he has not. There's warp gate just now starting, yeesh. But there it is, there's the very fast 3rd Nexus. Ordinarily, this would be a fantastic play, but White Raw may have just screwed himself violently by not getting that warp gate research up.
Yeah, very, very possible that if ClouD is to recognize what's happening and then hit like ooh, and look at this, ClouD throwing down the Ghost Academy as if he wants to hit some kind of early timing. He's probably going to make 2 Ghosts and then go for it with the rest being Marine Marauder.
I do think this timing could pose a little bit of trouble for White Raw, but what we'll generally end up seeing is a lot more gateways getting planted down. There's more gateways. White Raw will likely also be going for some sort of Dark Templar tech. He's starting to get more and more assimilators up, and look at that unit counting station, 42 probes up.
Wow.
He is now getting more gateways. He's up to 5 right now, and look at the production tab. He's not even building any units. Well, I guess that's not really fair. He forgot warp gates, so he's not really building much of anything.
Yeah, but he's content to just sit back and not even produce on these gateways. He's just adding infrastructure, gearing himself. This is exactly what you described, Day, where he's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways now. Yeah, I counted that right. And he's not making units out of any of them, so he's just waiting to see what ClouD does, and then if ClouD leaves his base, he'll start hammering out those units as quickly as he can.
And there is the Twilight Council getting the charge upgrade. Forge is now finished. Cybernetics Core just now finishing that up, and look at this, 3 probes queued up constantly. The +1 armor upgrade there, the relieving sound of warp gates being constructed, and now ClouD's on the out and out, and it looks like White Raw sees everything, in particular sees that pair of ghosts, and is heading back home.
Yeah, so White Raw knows exactly what's coming. ClouD is, well, I mean, he's still got a lot more units than White Raw. He's 7 supply up, and he's down in workers. So there's a large discrepancy in the size of the armies here. And White Raw's only got the 2 sentries, so he's not going to have much in the way of force field, and he's definitely not going to have much in the way of disposable Guardian shields.
And there's all the extra gateways plopping on up. White Raw needs to make certain he does not miss a single. Oh, and there it looks like a lot of units streaming up. He is doing some great kiting micro, and there's another amazing EMP. More Zealots being produced by White Raw, and ClouD may be winning with a very early push, but keep in mind there are no medevacs. He has stim, so he is very low on health. We do see that one pylon finishing up, or getting taken down. It looks like there is the Zealot leg speed. White Raw in a rough position, needs to get a very good warp in angle, and there is another stim. Those units are so close to dead from ClouD, and it looks like White Raw will be able to barely clean this up.
The patience of White Raw really awesome here. A lot of players would have just pulled probes and gone for it, but White Raw sitting back, waiting for that next warp in, cleaning up every single unit. And ClouD with a really nice timing push that could have done critical damage, instead just kills a couple gateway units and is now a base down against White Raw.
Who's now at 58 probes. Now that that attack is finished, he's going to go back to chrono boosting out those probes nonstop. And the one thing that really, I think, kind of bugs me is that ClouD, I think that attack was perfect at the start. Killed off all the units he needed to, but once he realized that White Raw was pulling back, was not pulling probes, I think it would have been smart for ClouD just to try to pick off some probes, or just pull back. There's nothing wrong with doing some guaranteed damage and pulling back. Right now we see it was a pretty even exchange, ClouD actually coming out slightly ahead. However, he could have come out quite far ahead had he not ran up to the high ground and committed those units to death.
In terms of the trade, he comes out a little bit ahead, but we have to remember he was down a base for quite a long time. He's been down workers this entire time. He's a little bit behind in tech because he just didn't tech up that much. He's got the Ghost Academy, but still, okay, now the medevacs are just starting to pop out. He still hasn't gotten his first medevac on the field, so it'll be another 5 seconds, and then he will have one. But you know, he's been so delayed in getting up to these very important medevacs, whereas White Raw, he's got High Templar coming out. I think I saw Storm being researched. Yes, I did. +2 upgrades are coming as well, so White Raw is looking so strong, in my opinion.
The big thing to note, Robo Facility hasn't even been started. You don't even see a robotics. Okay, you know what? There it is. You know what? I can't come out of that clean. Guys, hasn't even been started except for this one. That's building a warp prism. Oh, thank God he's building the cool unit at least.
We can say he hasn't put down a Robo Bay though, so not completely off the mark. No Colossus tech for White Raw coming anytime soon. Instead, he's going to get this warp prism, and he's going to rely on a gateway-based army. And I love gateway-based armies. They reward mobility and positioning and things like that.
And look at this, pylons being planted all over the map for White Raw, making sure that he can warp in at any angle, spot any of those medevacs coming in. There is the Robo Bay also incoming. With this one warp prism popping on out, he will be able to do some of the infamous warp prism harass, or even more simply, have all of those High Templar loaded up into the warp prism. Oh, is he going for Storm Drop? Oh, is this Brood War? It is not, Mr. Bitterer. This is real life.
This is real life, but look at this warp prism walking just past the vision of ClouD, and unfortunately ClouD does not spot this drop coming, and oh, Sean.
Oh,
Sean!
Oh, no. Oh, well, it looks like the warp prism is not going to go ahead and engage. White Raw has his cannons very nicely planted. ClouD might still just opt to drop regardless.
Yeah, the army of White Raw is but not that far away, though. I have a hard time believing this drop could be successful for ClouD. Meanwhile, White Raw is, well, he's actually walking. Oh, look at all, this so oversaturated is ClouD right now in his main base.
No.
This could be critical.
Oh, here it ends up coming on in. More upgrades for White Raw, but that is not nearly as important as the storm drop that's about to happen. Does ClouD see? Does he see? Does he see?
Yeah!
Oh, and he gets huge numbers of SCVs.
Oh my word!
Oh, and the Marines! Oh, that was so rewarding to see happen live, and it looks like he's not done. Round 2 might be coming up in just a moment. He will stay hidden at the back, and it looks like a single Viking will end up cleaning up this warp prism, but not before the damage has been done. A single hit point.
Are you kidding me? Oh, wow.
Not nearly enough time, and they're 82 probes to 45 SCVs.
So I hear you like storm drops, Sean.
I do like storm drops, indeed. That was a
33 workers killed with just a couple of storms. That is, that's awesome.
And White Raw now continuing to build up a very intimidating army. More robos going down, getting this stupid amount of gateways. This makes absolutely no sense at all how many gateways he can get at this point in time. ClouD does have his third up, and I mean, as much as we've been lauding White Raw's play, don't forget that in the midst of all of this, ClouD is almost done with 2-2 himself, does have 3 barracks with reactors on the field already, 3 with Tech Lab, has a decent, wow, he is up to 8 barracks actually, 4 reactor, 4 Tech Lab, Ghosts are incoming, +1 weapons. ClouD amazingly trying to stay toe-to-toe with White Raw in terms of that macro battle, and amazingly even having these 2 starports able to churn out those Vikings at a
Yeah, I'm actually really
rate.
surprised that ClouD managed to catch this transition of White Raw. White Raw went, oh, here we go, a bit of a drop coming, and it's going to fly right over these cannons. There's no units back at home, and White Raw's maxed out. He's going to have to defend this with just a couple of Colossi.
Oh, nice job there by ClouD, splitting everything up, and oh, and White Raw does not manage to get the feedback in time, and that does manage to fall, so it looks like White Raw will have a little trouble managing these 2 bases, but it looks like White Raw at the same time has gone on the huge counter-offensive. ClouD has a lot of units stockpiled back up, but the natural expansion is in a lot of trouble. The Zealots are getting warped in.
Oh, the army of White Raw is just dauntingly huge. Such a terrifying force. Charge lots, Archons, High Templar with Storm, and Colossi. That is what you call a death ball.
It looks like White Raw, 1 Archon does manage to go in the wrong direction. Mainly Zealots here. And with some nice EMPs and the stim power of all those Marines, this could go very poorly for White Raw if he's not careful, but ClouD needs to get the perfect positioning. A drop for ClouD also going down in the main. Oh! Huge storms at the front. It does look like the Colossi ripping everything apart. Oh, ClouD at the worst possible angle, getting completely torn to shreds. The mini EMP, unable to do too much damage. The Archon does fall in the main. We see that drop from ClouD is doing a lot of damage, but ClouD is running out of units at the front gates of his own base. Another drop incoming for ClouD. It is looking very grim for the Italian Terran.
Eventually this drop play will get cleaned up, and the
there
problem
it
for
is.
ClouD, as he GGs, is he's got no answer to the army at his front. And White Raw, a little bit of a fan favorite here, takes game number 1.
And you know, it's